Good morning. It's time to start, and I still don't have my main desktop computer. Windows update's been going on since about 10 after 4. It stalled at update 10, and finally I stopped the update process and uh, tried to reboot my computer, and it stalled again on update number 10, and it says please do not unplug or restart your computer. And finally, after 10 or 15 minutes, I unplugged my computer and restarted it. Now it's at least up to update 15. And I'm sorry to bring you that stuff. I mean, I wish this stuff could be instantaneous. When it takes over a half an hour to do a Windows update, there's something freaking wrong. I don't ever remember it taking that long ever before. Sorry about this. That's not where I was, but it's where I am. That's where my focus of attention is. Anyway, today was a beautiful morning because before I even got out of bed, I knew what the topic was going to be for today. And I like it when that happens. Sometimes even after I come out of the meditation room, as you know, those of you that listen regularly, you know that sometimes I come out of the meditation room and come to the computer and I have no clue what I'm going to talk about. Yesterday was one of those days. Quarter after 4, I still had no clue what I was going to talk about. Anyway, the title for today is Personal and Planetary Correction, now underway. It is the Father's great pleasure and the Mother's delight to bring forth the kingdom of heaven on earth. Divine grace is being poured forth upon all creation as the anticipation builds. Our senses are being expanded, our awareness increased. For me, I've been seeing flashing lights around my head. At first, I thought nothing of it, but it has been happening more and more often. Of course, it does not happen when I try to make it happen, only when I'm not focused on it at all. The message is, this is not something I can control. It is a gift reminding me that balance is being restored for all that are willing to receive, and it will affect everyone. It's a beautiful thing. All right, I'm going to pay attention to my computer because one update failed. So I'm just going to restart my computer and see if it fixes it. Anyway. Oh, I hate it when my attention is diverted like this. And I almost didn't want to come out of the meditation room, but something says, no, you've got to get out now. And that was right at 4 o'clock. And I'm glad I did because sometimes computer issues take my attention when I come to the computer. I haven't seen a single email yet this morning. And it must be what I'm supposed to talk about because that's where my attention has been diverted. But one of the things that I think is happening is matter is becoming intelligence. I've been listening to the Quiche Foundation, to that Iranian scientist that's doing all the experiments in the Quiche Foundation, and he's doing with all this plasma energy and stuff. And I still don't understand it, and I'm not claiming to, I certainly could not give a dissertation on it or anything like that. But one of the things that has been extremely interesting to me is that they're discovering that matter is intelligent. I've had the feeling that that's true for a long time, and I've shared the story before of how I first came to the awareness, this was many years ago now, back in the 90s, that my car responds to laughter. It responds to joy. As a repair that I did not have money to pay for occurred in my automobile without me spending one penny. And it just, the problem that was there that was going to cost a couple $100s to fix, that I didn't have the couple $100, it it happened. It took care of itself. And I realized at that time that there's no such thing as an inanimate object. No such thing. All life and everything that exists is life, because we live in a living universe. Not a dead universe, not an unintelligent universe, but a universe of design. And yes, I'm keying in my computer. It bothers me when it's not working. And it too is living. We're going to be able to get to the point where we can just talk to our computer and tell it what we want it to do without software or anything, because it's going to be able to understand us. I can't wait for that to happen. And I just say, hey, I want it to do this, and it does what I want it to do. I want life to work that way. What was it they're trying to get me to see? It's not something I can control. It's spontaneous. It's natural. We have been living in a world for a long time where nothing seems natural, where everything that has been created in our insanity is against nature itself. We poison our food, we poison our air, we poison our water. When I say we, you say, Ron, it's not us doing it. It's that crazy Illuminati. It's the dark forces. It's the cabal. Oh, yeah, it is them. But who do you think they are? They're part of us. They're our own shadow, our own dark side. It's not, there that tickle goes again. That was there yesterday. I'm going to start bringing a glass of water in here, which I've never done. Maybe I need to do it. And it's interesting that it comes when I'm talking about there not being a battle. It's not a war. It's not a duel. Duality is not meant to be a duel. But we've made it a duel. That's called dualism. It's called polarization. We've made it that, and the correction is underway. It's happening. The grace is being poured out. For those that are willing to receive it, the karma, the old debts are being forgiven. When I say debts now, I'm talking in terms of karmic debts. But we live in a world built on debt. Our entire financial system is a fraud built on debt, not on productivity, not on not on resources, but on manipulation. And the manipulators are being corrected. I've been worried, as many people have. How is it going to happen? It doesn't matter how. It's happening. It's happening because grace is being restored. Grace is grace is doing the restoration. It's the gift of the God and the goddess. The heaven and the earth are merging. Our lower chakras and our higher chakras are merging in the heart. We're coming into a world where love is going to matter, where truth counts, where reality is going to appear very different than what we thought it was. And it's a beautiful thing, as I said in the blurb. Oh boy. You know, and it's funny because if this tickle would start before I start my video, I'd have a glass of water in here. But it waits till I'm starting the video. And I don't know why it's done that now 2 days in a row. And I didn't have it at all yesterday after the video was finished. It's only when I'm doing the video that I'm getting this crazy tickle in my throat. It's very strange. But lots of things that are very strange are going to be happening. And I want you to be aware of that. Spirit's wanting me to be aware of that. Things are happening at a very accelerated pace. And it's going to seem very odd in many respects. I think we're going to be getting sensations in our bodies, like tickles in my throat, like flashing around my head, lights flashing. Sometimes it was just the peripheral vision when it first started. It was just like in my peripheral vision, and I'd turn and look and nothing was there. And I think, well, it's the fan reflecting the light. And of course, I don't put the fans on in this room anymore because it makes the candles burn too fast. And the wax go all over the place. But anyway, lately, I mean, the lights have been just all up and around my head like this. And they just flash. And it may only be a second or two. But it's noticeable. And I'm getting sensations in my body. And I'm saying, the message is that I'm getting, it's not something wrong. There's corrections that are happening, and you're going to feel some of them physically. I'm giving you that message. This is a message coming to me, and I'm sharing it with you. There's going to be things occurring in our lives that are going to seem out of the ordinary. We don't need to run to the doctors and see what's wrong. We don't need to spend a whole lot of time thinking like we've always thought. Oh, there must be something wrong. I'm feeling discomfort here. No, changes are occurring. We are being transformed because it's what our soul has wanted for us. It's the gift God has always wanted to give us. And the God and the Goddess are working in harmony to bring about and facilitate the correction, the adjustment. It's happening, folks. It's happening. It's real. It's unstoppable. It's what we've wanted. We are the ones we have been waiting for. The change is occurring in us. The second coming of Christ is happening inside of us. It's not an external event. It's an internal event that changes the way we see the world and ourselves in it. This is what ascension is all about. It's not about going someplace else. It's not about that. It's not about Earth splitting and creating two Earths. I don't believe it's about that. I might be wrong, because many do believe that's what it's about. But it doesn't seem to resonate with me. It's not about further separation and further division. It's about the unification of things. It's about the coming together, not the tearing apart. That's the message that Spirit keeps on impressing and has been doing so for over a decade in my life, for going on 2 decades in my life. It's about the balancing of opposites. It's about learning to dance instead of duel. You've heard me say that over and over and over again, because this is the message. This is the message that Spirit is impressing on me, and I believe I'm not the only one that it's being impressed upon. We are going through major, major changes and a huge shift in perception. It is a total, I lost the word, it's right there, paradigm shift. It's a total paradigm shift, where we go from seeing things as things that are just things, and it doesn't matter what we do to those things, to where everything is respected as part of life, and having an innate intelligence even in the smallest atom, even in the electrons and the protons and the neutrons and the quarks and all of the subatomic particles. And it will affect, as it affects the microcosm, it affects the macrocosm. But what's really changing is our ability to perceive, our ability to grasp meaning where there didn't seem to be any meaning before. It's a planetary correction. It's happening individually in all of us. I'd like to say all of us that are willing, but even those that are unwilling are going to be brought along. Even those that resist will be brought along. It will be a little bit more difficult probably for them than for those that are willing to accept and allow. But it's going to happen for us all. We're all moving into a new world. Behold, I make all things new, said the one that sits on the throne. I make all things new. At the end of the apocalypse, the unveiling, the revealing. This is that time. We're living in it. It's 2012. Thank you for listening. And I trust that even with all of my confusion over my computer at the beginning, that you will have gained something that allows your soul and your mind especially to be a little more at peace. Because my mind was at peace when I got the message before I even got out of bed and went to the meditation room this morning. Namaste. Oh dear.